And welcome once again to The Verdict. Mick Cornett and Kent Myers, we're back each week, as we are, to meet interesting people and talk about topical issues. And there's an annual event coming back to Oklahoma City, and we have a familiar guest that I'm sure our viewers are going to enjoy.
We do. It's Lift Up Your Life. That's the name of the show and the name of the program that the Integris Baptist Medical Center is having. The Women's Health Forum, once again in September, will be presented in a number of different locations, and we're having Dr. Mary Ann Bauman come today to tell us, to give us the highlights about what's going to be going on.
Yeah, and it's an opportunity for people to kind of take charge of their health, and we've been having a series of shows on that this summer, and I hope people are enjoying them.
Well, it's a Women's Health Forum, but it isn't just for women. There are programs for men and programs that affect all of us. And
Dr. Bauman will no doubt have interesting information, as she always does. Dr. Mary Ann Bauman, today's guest on The Verdict. We'll be right back.
In driving rain, blistering heat, and bitter cold, 365 days a year, 24 hours a day, Chesapeake drills non-stop for natural gas on American soil. Chesapeake drills more new gas wells than anyone else, and from those wells collects the most drilling information and acquires more 3D seismic images, leveraging every efficiency to improve the odds of finding more natural gas every day with every well we drill. The better job we do of discovering bigger reserves of clean-burning American natural gas, the greater the prosperity of our nearby communities, our state, and our nation. And as long as there are more gas reserves to be found here in the U.S., we will never rest. Chesapeake. Natural gas wins the day.
Hi, this is James Garner.
Hi, this is Reba McEntire.
Hi, this is Johnny Bench.
Hi, I'm Barry Switzer.
Hey everybody, this is Vince Gill.
Welcome to my home state of Oklahoma,
where we'll be celebrating 100 years of statehood
in 2007.
Our strength is our people, and the 2,100 Oklahomans from the Cox Communications family are proud to be part of Oklahoma's story. Cox and Oklahoma, true partners.
Happy birthday, Oklahoma.
You would never give your 8-year-old daughter the keys to the car, but when you give her the computer keys, she can go anywhere in the world, some very dangerous places.
Every day, 1 in 5 children is approached online by a potential predator.
That's why Cox Communications makes it easy for parents to control what content their children can access. To learn more, visit cox.com/takecharge.
I'm proud to partner with Cox to safeguard our nation's children. Know where your child is going online. Remember, you're in the driver's seat.
Welcome back to The Verdict. Mick Cornett here, and Kent Myers is going to introduce today's guest.
Very familiar guest to Verdict watchers, Dr. Mary Ann Bauman. She did her undergraduate and medical work at the Wayne State University. She is now the medical director for Women's Health and Community Relations at Integris Baptist Hospital. She's been at the hospital since 1991, believe it or not. It's hard to see that is correct, but that is true. She's had many appearances here with us on The Verdict, and we're sure glad she'd come back to talk to us about this year's Women's Health Forum. Mary Ann, glad you're back.
Thank you. It's fun to be here.
Well, it's an annual visit that you make, but Kent and I, it just seems like this thing gets more and more frequent. But you're telling me it is just once a year.
It's a year. Isn't that scary how fast that time goes? I agree. It seems like I was just here.
Well, lives are changed every year, and I'm sure you have some success stories, and it's got to be fulfilling. I know it's a lot of work, and you and the staff put in a lot of work, but it's got to be fulfilling knowing that lives are improved and this thing is over.
Oh, it absolutely is. We get 5,000 people coming, and sometimes 6,000 and 7,000. 5,000 coming to this, and they come to these events, they get the information. Some people come year after year. I had one lady who told me that she sets her vacation at work so she can come to Women's Health Forum. So we know we're making a difference, and that's Integris' mission, to improve the health of the people in the communities we serve.
Well, you just hit on something that I had not thought to ask you, but I'd like to ask you about the person that comes year after year. You don't just offer the same program year after year. It's different every year, is it not?
Yes, we always start out in January planning and we think, how are we going to make it different? But you know, there's different technology plus different interest areas, and so we always make it different so you can come year after year.
The dates are September 7th through the 22nd of September.
Correct. We started with 2 days way back in, I think, around 1990, 89, and now we're at 2 weeks.
Wow. And does this cost anything if someone wants to get more information?
All of the programs are free except for the luncheons, and then we charge $10 for the lunches. Now, there is one thing in here that says I'm doing a roundtable discussion that's not a lunch. It says there's a $10 charge. That's actually an error. And so there's no charge for that. So don't think you have to pay for that one.
But no lunch either.
But no lunch on that one. But I do a lunch earlier.
Over this couple of week period, about how many different programs are there?
There are over 35 programs, and we ring the city. We're on the north side, the south side, out in Yukon. There really is something for everyone in this program.
Well, highlight some of the what you think will be the more popular.
Well, you know, we have Vicki Lawrence coming. She's going to be lots of fun. Not only is she funny, but she's a spokesperson for the American Heart Association for cholesterol. So that's an important issue for everyone. We will be talking about our new GI or Gastrointestinal Health Institute. Dr. Mark Mello will be speaking about that. We're going to be talking about some of the new, less invasive liver surgeries. Dr. Coley is one of our liver transplant surgeons, and he's going to be speaking about that. We have a number of our family physicians, new family physicians, who are speaking on a variety of topics like arthritis, osteoporosis, skin diseases. And this is very important for people because if you're looking for a doctor, and so many people are looking for a primary care doctor, this is a great way to see this doctor, to meet, to get a chance to see if you'd like to get an appointment, because these doctors do have appointments available.
I'm intrigued by the title, Lift Up Your Life. Talk to us about what that means, how that was selected, what message are you trying to send?
We have really found through the years that there was a time when everyone just wanted to hear about the technology. Then we found that people want to hear about how to make their life better. And since optimism is so very important, we decided to choose the theme this year, lifting up your life, finding out the health issues you need to face, but also some of the other types of issues. Dr. Murali Krishna is going to be doing his Art of Happy Living series. I'm talking about Lift Up Your Life, so that we can have people recognize that you can make a difference and have a better life, health-wise and also emotionally.
You're doing several programs, but talk to us about what you're going to be discussing with the attendees in the Lift Up Your Life
This
program.
is going to be a fun one, because this is going to be speaking about optimism. I'm going to talk about some of the scientific data out there that says if you view the glass as half empty or half full, it can make a difference in your life. And I'm going to talk about some techniques about how, if you're not a naturally optimistic person, what you can do to improve that. So it's kind of a kickoff of this theme of making your life happy and fun.
Well, what about the What's on Your Mind roundtable?
I've had questions asked to me on television since 1993, and I've done over, I think I calculated out once, 6,000 questions on the air.
And you've never been stumped yet.
Well, I'll tell you, I have to do a lot of research on a lot of them. I have learned so much by always doing the research and figuring it out. But we decided to be kind of fun. In fact, it was one of my colleagues who said, let's do a roundtable discussion so people can interact in person. So that's going to be very informal. Ask your questions, get your answers. We'll see what happens.
What's the general subject going to be?
Whatever you want.
Health
related, people can bring in their questions. I assume they'll be health related. We'll see.
Okay, I'm intrigued about this, the No Boys Allowed, an evening at Nona's. What's that going to be?
We have done No Boys Allowed, and this is one of our absolute most popular events. Now, we do have Men's Health University, so don't think we're being too sexist here. But this is a really neat series where women will come down to Nona's and will use their very nice upstairs rooms, and we have 3 different rooms and 3 different talks. The talks go on for 15 minutes, and then the speaker rotates from one to the other. So everyone gets the full talk with 3 different speakers, and they have a lovely dinner, and it's just a really fun, lift up your life kind of event.
If people are watching the show, excuse me, and saying, you know, I'm just not sure this is for me or not, who should come to this? I mean, what type of women, you know, might be trying to decide whether or not to attend, and who's your audience here?
Well, I will tell you that these programs are for all ages. We have programs that are meant for young couples thinking about having a pregnancy, and if they want, you know, when they want to do that. We have programs for teenagers about the various aspects of their life. And so I would say it's really for everyone. We have a lot of men who come to this. This program, it says Women's Health Forum, but remember, we use that because women are the healthcare selectors for the family 75% of the time. We know when we educate a woman, we're educating a unit. So we have a ton of men who come, both because the programs are interesting, like we're talking about heart disease and all the new gadgets in cardiology, to programs that they too want to lift up their life. So it's a good mix that we have, and anyone can come.
Let me scoot back to the evening at Nona's. Is that apparently would be a limited number that could attend?
Yes, and that is.
Do you have any advice in that regard?
I would say that you have to get your reservation in early because it fills up almost instantaneously. It's so popular, though, we do an encore presentation sometime in October. We'll have a date in October, so people can get on a waiting list and then come back for the October one because we always know that that is very popular.
Let me jump in here and get us to our first break. Women's Health Forum coming back to Oklahoma City September 7th to the 22nd. More with Dr. Mary Ann Bauman when we return on The Verdict.
Shining is taking responsibility. At Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Oklahoma, we know managing your health care can be overwhelming, and it's our job to help you meet the challenge. By guiding, supporting, and showing the way, we encourage you to gain control. Because we believe the best tool we can give you is the confidence to take charge. Blue Cross Blue Shield of Oklahoma, shining through.
Okiwani is an Indian name for a place where children play. When we obtained the camp, we found a lot of oil debris left in the woods. We saw a commercial about how the oil and natural gas industry cleans up old oil well sites. We called the OERB and they agreed to remove tons of concrete and steel. It didn't cost us a thing. Thousands of children have left their footprints on this land. Thanks to the oil and gas industry, they will for a long time to come.
Wilsey, Meyer, Eatman, Tate. We're accountants. We do taxes, business valuations, estate planning, and consulting. And we're right here in Oklahoma, working with the owners of small and medium-sized businesses. Steve Wilsey and Stuart Meyer have the resources and the experience. Wilsey, Meyer, Eatman, Tate in Oklahoma City and Tulsa. Cox Channel, following your favorite teams all season long.
Looks like somebody doesn't want you to know the facts about Cox Digital Telephone. Maybe it's because over 1.5 million customers are saving big, and you can too. Plus, you'll save even more on all your Cox services when you bundle today.
Oh, here's that new phone service I've been hearing about.
So while the phone company may not like competition,
Nice doggy.
you're gonna love
Nice
it.
doggy.
Welcome back to The Verdict. Mick Cornett and Kent Myers. As always, today's guest is Dr. Mary Ann Bauman. We're discussing the Women's Health Forum, which is coming up September 7th through the 22nd in Oklahoma City. Vicki Lawrence is your headliner this year. Now, people will remember her from the Carol Burnett Show and Mama's Family. And they'll say, well, she can sing and she can act. Why is she at the Women's Health Forum?
And she's funny.
And she is funny. Well, first of all, being funny is part of Lift Up Your Life because laughter makes a big difference. But she also has a good story to tell. High cholesterol runs in her family. She's found out she has high cholesterol, and she's a spokesperson for cholesterol for the American Heart Association. But I think she's just going to be an interesting and very intriguing person to listen to. We've had great reviews from where she has spoken before, and I think she'll just be a tremendous amount of fun. And she will make everyone laugh. And that's just great.
Well, she's going to be speaking to a large audience, I would take it, at where, the Civic Center?
At the Civic Center, yes. And you know, how she got her start with Carol Burnett is just really neat. She was running for Miss Fireball in her hometown. And people had told her she looked so much like Carol Burnett, so she sent a letter to Carol Burnett inviting her to come. And Carol Burnett was looking for someone to play her younger sister. So she went, Vicki was in high school at the time, and that's how she got her start.
Wow.
Well, she is a fireball.
She is a fireball, and she is going to be fun.
What are the major health areas that we're going to be talking about during these couple of weeks?
Well, one of the major areas always, and unfortunately for Oklahoma, we're so high in heart disease. So cardiology, issues with congestive heart failure, issues with some of the new techniques will be very important. We are going to talk about vision and the different techniques that we can use to maintain vision as we get older. Dr. Dar is one of our ophthalmologists, and he'll be doing some screenings also. Talk about hearing. You know, there are definitely new things with hearing, because we used to talk about the cochlear implants only for children. Now certain adults can get that who have profound hearing loss. And Dr. Kent Dyer will be speaking about hearing for adults. We're going to be talking about the mind-body connection. That's where my talks come in. Dr. Krishna will be speaking in that too, because we know that if emotionally you don't feel well, physically you will not feel well. Our digestive health center, our new digestive health center, I mentioned Dr. Mark Mello. This is the first one that in our Oklahoma City area. So there are a lot of new techniques with that will be very important for people to understand. Bones, osteoporosis, as our population ages, and let's not say as we age, let's say as we live longer, let's put it that way. We're having more problems with these, men and women, and sleep. You know, you've seen those commercials. Oh, you know, my husband wants that little butterfly that flies around there. So Jonathan Schwartz, Dr. Schwartz, who's an expert in sleep, will be giving a talk about sleep and how you can get the type of sleep you need. We have a new sleep lab in Yukon, so he's going to be speaking about that.
What will Pam Newby be doing during this seminar?
Pam Newby, she is the first recipient of Oklahoma Women Making a Difference. This is a new award we're giving, and Pam is just a wonderful woman. She started, I think Special Care Inc. is the name of her foundation for children who need help. But her real message is how you take something that is tough in your life and you turn it into something that is a positive. So we really think she fits great women who make a difference.
Mm-hmm. Now, will she be speaking at a luncheon or a dinner or a special
She will be doing a luncheon. She will be doing a luncheon, and we hope to have a lot of people there, because I don't know if you've ever met Pam, but she is just dynamic. She's been head of the International Junior League, which is quite an honor for someone from Oklahoma, and she has a great family. She just does a multitude of things.
How does one find out what's going on? We've talked about a lot of things. There's bound to be a central program or a central location for information.
Yes, many people will receive this program that we get in the mail. If you haven't done this, you can either call our health line, which is 951-2277, 888-951-2277 if you're out of town, or you can register 24/7 integrisok.com online. So you can speak with someone, or you can just do it yourself. Descriptions of everything are in the brochure.
We'll give that website information and the phone numbers again in our last segment. Since we only have you here once a year, and although maybe we should make it more often, what other health care trends do you see in the state of Oklahoma? We discuss so often how people here tend to smoke more frequently. They seem to be more overweight. Are we doing any better, or any trends out there that I think people would find interesting?
I think we're not making as much progress, certainly, as I would like to see. I do think the extra dollar tax on cigarettes has helped us with some of our teenagers, because studies show we can price teenagers out of the cigarette market. We still have this feeling that being overweight is not that big a deal, and exercising is one of our major keys. We're not doing well with that yet. We're trying to do programs around the city to encourage children and adults to exercise, but I'm really worried about this this childhood obesity trend. Because if kids don't start moving and get their weight under control, this is the first generation that will live a shorter number of years than their parents. So we need to.
You would think that scientific advancement would be ahead of the obesity, but it just does not seem to be. And still, the way we eat and the way we do not exercise still seem to be the two most critical factors.
You know, and it's how many times in your life do you have something that you have so much control over? I mean, this is it. You know, it isn't a test you have to have done. It isn't. It is just getting that weight down and under control and getting your body moving 20 to 30 minutes 3 or 4 times a week. It seems so logical and so simple. We just can't get people to do it. And I work so hard with my patients in my practice, and some do. Some quit smoking. Some get their cholesterol down. They lose weight. I'm still a big believer in Weight Watchers. I think that teaches a different way to live and to do things, and I think that that definitely helps. But I'm telling all parents out there, if you don't take the first step, your children will follow suit and not do that as well, and it's a problem.
Do you see any change at all in the smokeless tobacco?
I haven't. I'll tell you, in my practice, I don't have a lot of patients doing smokeless tobacco. So I think that's a problem with the kids especially. Yeah. I mean, that habit, I just do not understand it. It yellows your teeth. Oh my gosh, you know, you spit that, it looks awful. But kids see it as a way to get around, and I still think we need to work at it, because head and neck cancer is really an issue with smokeless tobacco, because you're letting that tobacco sit in your mouth, and I'll tell you, the surgeries for head and neck cancers are just very debilitating surgeries.
All right, Dr. Mary Ann Bauman here to discuss the Women's Health Forum.
Yes.
Annual event, and you've been doing this for over 15 years now. Thanks
Yes.
for your commitment to this project, and I know a lot of women will show up and have their health improved, not just them, but their entire families.
Yes, well, thank you. I appreciate you having me. It's always such a pleasure to be here.
And once again, we'll give that website information and the phone numbers where you can get more information on the Women's Health Forum in our next segment. Dr. Bauman, thank you for coming on. Kent and I'll have a final word after this.
Thank you.
The good life comes naturally to Tulsa, where nature's beauty is matched with an eye for aesthetics. A legacy of neighborhoods graced with lawns and landscaping and handsome homes. A place that seems to have patented an ideal lifestyle. Bank First is loyal to the quality of life Tulsa assures its citizens, to the priority placed on education, culture, and growth. Loyal to builders who transform raw land into residential charm. Developers who see opportunity and add vitality to Tulsa's economy. Bank First serves both enterprise and private lives that need a loyal partner. It's how we help nurture this city's very good life. Bank First. Loyal to Oklahoma. Loyal to you.
The Journal-Record is pleased to be a sponsor of The Verdict. The Journal-Record, since 1903, the best source of Oklahoma business news and legal information.
Our pledge as a company is to provide quality of service for our paying customers.
When you illegally hook up cable,
everyone pays.
Theft of cable can cause outages.
Sometimes poor reception.
we seek out illegal use.
And we prosecute offenders.
If you know someone not paying for service,
call us at 1-800-466-5590.
You could remain anonymous.
Cable theft. It's more serious than you think. It's a crime.
Hi, honey. You've got to check this out.
What? What are we listening to?
I had digital phone service installed today.
It sounds just like before.
I know, but it's going to save us a ton of money.
With Cox Digital Telephone, you'll save big every month. Keep your same phone number and get your favorite calling features. Just pay less.
That does sound good.
You should hear the upstairs phone.
Welcome back to The Verdict. Mick Cornett and Kent Myers here to wrap up a show with Dr. Mary Ann Bauman, in which we discuss the upcoming Women's Health Forum, which is September 7th through the 22nd in Oklahoma City.
A little different focus this year. Lift Up Your Life sounds like the emphasis is trying to place the responsibility and the initiative back onto the individual to make some individual changes in their life that could bring about a much more productive life, presumably, and one that is full of health rather than illness. We're lucky in this community to have somebody like Dr. Bauman that is very accessible to the citizens through the media, that she's a very strong advocate for individual health issues and how one can take action that will positively impact their health future. And we're glad that we're able to get her back every once in a while to talk about what's going on.
Amazing with all the scientific advancement that takes place in this country and around the world, that we aren't getting healthier. We may be living longer, but we're not necessarily getting healthier, and our habits are not necessarily conducive to good health. It's all the talk. You can't pick up a magazine or a newspaper anymore without getting a lot of health information, but it doesn't seem to be necessarily turning into action. And I think that's one of the things that the Women's Health Forum is trying to get information turning into action.
Yeah, and I think she would want us to emphasize that this Women's Health Forum isn't simply for women. There are programs for men and mixed programs. So the gentlemen out there can sign up and look at the program and see what it is they need to attend. I'm amazed, as long as we've been doing this show, we've been talking about it, about how poorly Oklahomans do in health statistics in things like obesity, heart disease, stroke, and related matters, and why Oklahomans are so far down the chart in health as opposed to other states.
Let me give some contact information, so if you would like to attend the Women's Health Forum, you'll know how to get that information, and you can go to the website integrisok.com, or you can call those phone numbers on the screen, area code 405-951-2277, or if you're outside of the metro area, 888-951-2277. Again, it's the Women's Health Forum coming up September 7th through the 22nd in Oklahoma City. Please take advantage of this opportunity to get more information and to take charge of your family's health. For Kent Myers, I'm Mick Cornett. We'll see you next time on The Verdict.
The preceding program was produced by the Production Services Group at Cox Communications, exclusively for the Cox Channel.